Help me hit 4,000 subscribers. Support the video with a like and share your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. Thank you. I never expected our Sunday dinner to turn into the most humiliating night of my life. I had always thought my husband, Daniel, was quiet, unassuming, maybe even a little awkward, but he was kind, dependable, and loved his family. We had been married for 8 years, and for the most part, life had been predictable, steady, and comfortable. But that comfort is exactly what makes moments like that sting the most. It started innocently enough. My parents invited us over for dinner. Just a casual family gathering with my younger brother, his fiancée, and a few close friends. Daniel had agreed reluctantly, because he wasn't the type to enjoy large groups or the endless commentary that inevitably comes with family meals. But I had insisted. "Come on," I said. "It's just dinner. Relax." He smiled faintly, nodded, and went about setting the table like he always did, silently humming to himself. At first, everything seemed normal. The usual chatter, small jokes, polite laughter. But then, as the wine flowed, my brother Tom, who has always had a sharp tongue and little filter, started. It began subtly. A teasing remark about Daniel's wardrobe. "Is that your lucky shirt or your trying to blend in shirt?" Followed by a few chuckles. Daniel just smiled faintly, poured himself another glass of water, and continued eating. I tried to intervene gently. "Oh, leave him alone, Tom," but he waved me off, smirking. The comments escalated. One after another, my relatives and their friends found something about Daniel to mock. His laugh, his quiet voice, the way he ate his food, the way he reached for the salt shaker. Each comment drew a small ripple of laughter around the table, and my stomach turned in knots. I could feel Daniel's hands tighten slightly on the napkin in front of him. But he said nothing. Nothing. That silence, which could have seemed like weakness to some, only made the teasing worse. By the time dessert arrived, it felt like everyone had lined up to point out his flaws. My own mother chimed in, joking about how Daniel never seemed to have a backbone, and I felt heat rise to my face. I wanted to shout, defend him, tell everyone to stop. But I couldn't. I had always prided myself on being the peacemaker, and yet here I was, failing spectacularly in front of everyone I cared about. Daniel, as usual, said nothing. He just ate his pudding slowly, deliberately, while maintaining a calm composure that made my frustration simmer hotter. My embarrassment was complete. It wasn't just the mocking. It was the fact that my husband, the man I loved and respected, allowed it to continue without so much as a protest. I could see the curiosity in everyone's eyes, the half-whispered bets. Would he finally snap? Would he yell, make a scene, or retreat? And then, as the laughter subsided for a moment, Daniel looked up. His eyes, calm and unshakable, scanned the room. There was no anger, no resentment, just a quiet certainty. He cleared his throat softly and said, in a voice so steady it commanded attention without shouting, "Do you want me to leave, or should I stay and show you what respect looks like?" The room went silent. My mouth felt dry. The air seemed to thicken with disbelief. A sentence so simple, so controlled, yet so profound, it felt like a thunderclap in the middle of a quiet night. Everyone's laughter faltered, then vanished entirely. Even Tom, who had been spearheading the ridicule, froze mid-sentence, fork hovering over his plate. At first, I didn't fully process it. The weight of the statement pressed against my chest, making it hard to breathe. But slowly, realization dawned. Daniel wasn't angry. He wasn't trying to hurt anyone. He was giving us a mirror, exposing the pettiness, the cruelty, the way our laughter had been at someone else's expense. His calmness was sharper than any shout. His silence before the sentence had built tension so unbearable that even the bravest would flinch. My father cleared his throat awkwardly. We didn't mean—" Daniel raised a hand gently, stopping him mid-sentence. "No need to explain. You've already said enough about who you are when you think no one is listening." The shock didn't just settle over the others. It washed over me too. For 8 years, I had thought I knew Daniel completely. Yet this moment revealed a depth of strength and dignity I had never truly appreciated. The man I had quietly loved for so long had been holding a reservoir of patience and self-respect that now radiated through a single sentence. The rest of the evening passed in stunned silence. Conversations stumbled awkwardly. Laughter was cautious, polite, but nowhere near the cruel amusement from before. And Daniel, my husband, ate his dessert as calmly as he had from the beginning, sipping water occasionally, never raising his voice, never breaking composure. It was like watching a masterclass in self-control, humility, and quiet authority. Later that night, after everyone had gone, I sat beside him on the couch, still in shock. "Daniel," I whispered, how did you do that?" He shrugged softly, a small, tired smile playing at the corners of his lips. "I didn't need to do anything. They told me exactly who they are. I just said what I needed to say, calmly, firmly, honestly." I realized then that his strength wasn't in confrontation, in anger, or in yelling. It was in being measured, composed, and truthful, no matter how uncomfortable it made others. That single sentence had undone hours of mockery, stripped away the false bravado of people who thought belittling someone was entertainment. And in doing so, he had revealed a power far more shocking than any outburst, the power of dignity. The next morning, I woke up still replaying the scene in my mind. I couldn't stop thinking about how easily a single calm, deliberate sentence had shifted the entire dynamic. What had started as a night of humiliation had turned into a lesson in respect, boundaries, and the quiet strength that can make fools of those who mock. And I knew, without a doubt, that I had underestimated my husband all these years. Daniel wasn't just kind or dependable. He was formidable in the most understated way possible. And as I watched him brew coffee quietly in the kitchen, humming softly to himself, I realized something else too. Sometimes the most shocking moments aren't the ones with shouting or drama or spectacle. Sometimes the most shocking moments are delivered in calm, measured words that leave everyone else speechless, questioning themselves, and realizing they had misjudged someone from the very beginning. That day, I didn't just see my husband differently, I respected him in a way I never had before. And I knew moving forward that anyone who underestimated him would regret it. Because Daniel's quiet strength was something no mockery, no teasing, no shallow laughter could ever touch again. And in that quiet morning light, I finally understood the truth. Real power doesn't always yell. Sometimes it simply speaks, and everyone else falls silent.